One of the big new additions to FIFA 23 was the addition of AFC Richmond in Rest of the World. Of course, you can easily move these into the Premier League. I've got a video showing you how to do that in the background right now. But are AFC Richmond actually any fun to play on FIFA 23 career mode? Well, of course, they don't have real players. All of these players are actually actors that have been face scanned and put into the game. And if you haven't already watched the TV series, I recommend you do, but I won't be including any spoilers in this video, so don't worry about that. So let's have a look straight away at the situation AFC Richmond are in. In real life, in Season 1, they're meant to be sort of a bottom half table team that aren't really in danger of playing in Europe and aren't really in danger of being relegated either. You can see that in some of their players. They do have an 84 rated, but then again, so does Leicester. I think Leicester has 2 or 3 84 rated players, so that could be a good comparison right there. Danny Rojas up front with Jamie Tartt is one of the best strike forces in the league, but of course not many Premier League teams actually do use 2 strikers. While I haven't actually done a career mode with AFC Richmond, I have used them quite a lot for online season matches, and Sam Obisanya is probably the player that is the most effective for me. With around 88 sprint speed, 90 acceleration, 83 dribbling and 81 crossing, this guy is a mix of Adama Traore and Joaquin. He can cross it just as good as the best crossers on the game, he's just as fast as some of the fastest wingers, but he's also strong, really tall at 6'1", he has composure stat through the roof, and he can defend. If this guy was a real player, he'd be someone that you sign on every single career mode, so definitely check out Sam Obisanya if you're doing a AFC Richmond save. Roy Kent in midfield is a bit weird. In the show, he's shown to be a very slow player, but he has actually only got 62 sprint speed, which is fine, it's usable amount on FIFA 23. At 40 years old, of course, he's probably going to retire after 1 year, and you can see his value of £0 is exactly about right. Well, his mentality with 95 aggression makes him a really good ball winner, as does his standing tackle and sliding tackle stats. He can still take a free kick, he can still pass it fine, and he still has 86 stamina, so despite not having too much pace, you can expect him to get up and down the field quite a lot. With his engine trait as well, you can expect him to be influencing both defence and attack. In defence, however, you don't have the best players. Dixon, Goodman aren't even real-faced. Mas and McAdoo at the back, they're alright. Mas could be a real player, he's got alright stats, he's very tall at 6'4", 88 strength, and he dives into tackles when an AI is using him, but his actual defensive stats are pretty poor. Like a lot of the Richmond squad, they do have a very high aggression stat. McAdoo is another one with high aggression who plays next to him at centre back, and this guy has even more strength, but a lot less pace. With 56 acceleration and 69 sprint speed, he's still very much usable, but with low high work rates, you're not really going to have anyone getting beyond him anyway, because he's going to want to sit deep and intercept balls, something he can do quite well with 78 interceptions. So you can see from this that the squad is actually really fun. Danny Rojas up front is probably my favourite player to use, despite Sam Obisanya being the best. I couldn't quite ever get Jamie Tartt to be as good as he is in the show. He has really ridiculous stats, like 90 free kicks, he's got 86 finishing with 85 pace and 79 strength. If this guy was a bit taller, he would be basically Lewandowski. However, it's in fact Danny Rojas that I think is the better one of your 2 strikers. They're both fairly young at 26 years old and 24 year old, but I think the slightly bigger height and having the same sort of physicals and agility just makes Danny Rojas a little bit more usable on FIFA career mode. He's a team player, of course, just like in the show, and he is a nice player to use up front. You can probably get about 20 goals with both of your strikers, and they are actually 2 of the best strikers in the Premier League. It's only the likes of Vardy and Kane that are going to be higher rated than these 2. Your tactics are fairly average, and they're probably going to be something you want to change if you want to have a fun career mode. Long ball direct passing isn't the most fun way of playing FIFA. Counter-attack probably is, and it does help when you've got Sam Obisanya on the wing, as well as Tartt and Rojas, who are both very pacey strikers up front. If you're playing counter-attack as well, it does mean you'll get Roy Kent on the edge of the box, and maybe with this year's powerful shooting, you can blast a few goals in what will probably be one of his last seasons ever. Outside of your starting 11, there's basically no potential for players to get really good, so you're going to have to rely on a youth academy, which again is quite a fun thing. So to answer the question in the title of this video, is AFC Richmond actually a fun save? If you've watched the show, Sure, it's an interesting save. The players aren't too overpowered, but they are good enough for you to play well with them. So there is that sort of, you can do whatever you want with the squad kind of vibe. However, if you haven't watched the show, you're not that into using fake players, I wouldn't recommend you play as AFC Richmond. There are more fun teams to play in the Premier League for sure. If you don't have the attachment of watching the show, you should probably check out a team like Everton and do a rebuild, or Forest or Fulham. There's so many teams at a similar level you can just rebuild or play in a different way to AFC Richmond. And that's why if you haven't watched the show, I don't really recommend you do give this save a go. However, I do recommend you watch the show because it is actually really, really good. It's a fun watch. It's not too long as well, only 2 seasons of about 10 episodes each. So definitely check out the show if you haven't already. But thanks all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you've played as AFC Richmond or if you've watched Ted Lasso on TV, let me know who your favourite player is or how you've played this save if you've already done one on FIFA Career Mode. And I'll see you soon for another video. Thank you all for watching and goodbye.